Welcome to the Murfreesboro.com podcast, where we talk about all things Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Join host John I. Carey, his co-host Jonathan Harmon, and producer Trent Denson as they talk about all the great things happening in our city. From construction updates to local business spotlights to all the amazing events happening in our community. Listen in for all you need to know from Murfreesboro.com. Welcome to the show.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Murfreesboro.com podcast. Appreciate you tuning in as always. We have a wonderful show, one that we have been trying to get for a while. Thank you, Mr. Murfreesboro in the flesh over here.
Thank you.
The crowd goes wild.
I got my tiny Mr. Murfreesboro.
That's right. We got our stickers.
This is like pocket Mr. Murfreesboro right here.
Yeah,
I carry him in my wallet all the time.
Put it on your bumper and you will not get pulled over.
That's right. And you are handing over, you're not giving people the finger.
Right. No, it's actually the cupola. Yeah, people say, Bill, what is that? I'm giving a thumbs up. I'm known for giving thumbs up.
Yep, that's right.
You ever see my photos? I've got this. It's a trademark.
Okay.
So can I have the cupola? Are you handing that?
Yeah, I'm
over?
handing that. I'm handing that out. I've actually been in the cupola before.
I have too. I was about 2 months ago. It was awesome.
Really? I've never been in there.
I was 16 and it was a young girl. No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
that's a joke. It's
a
joke.
There,
Honey, I'm joking.
With 4-H one time back in like middle school.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to go up there with Frank Caperton a couple months ago.
The Tank.
Frank the Tank.
The history man.
The stairs are a little suspect.
I think
are they really?
Oh, yeah.
They're like winding.
Yeah, and rusting.
They're like this.
And rusting.
And I'm 6'4" and about 220 pounds. And going up, it was not easy.
I'm not 6'4". I am about 220 pounds. And
5'5". No, I'm just kidding.
Scared of heights. I don't do heights real well.
Yeah.
You're scared of heights? I am too, man.
Oh, yeah. It was
Shoot.
It was crazy, but I did it.
I was going to say, I want to go up there, but I don't know now. You got me all worried.
No, you should do it.
I'm a little heavier, but I'm about 6'2", 6'3".
Dude, where are you working out at?
I pretty much live at Gold's.
Do you really?
Part. Yeah, it's my home away from home.
What took over the Mac? Is it Avalon?
Avalon, yeah. To be honest, I've never heard of.
Where does that name come from? That's like
it's
a
like
movie
a heaven thing, right?
Well, like the Knights of the Tumblers or something. I mean,
Knights of the Tumblers.
Knights of the
Yeah,
I have no idea, to be honest.
Avalon's like Valhalla. It's one of the
one
of the other heavens.
It's Viking-ish.
Yeah,
it's Vikings. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. You know what's so wild, and we talked about this earlier. This building here was my first job. It was
that's right.
It was a body shop for the Ford dealership.
Mm-hmm. University Ford.
This used to be a University Ford. Before that, it was Benford Ford.
Right. Was it? That was
across the street was Byrne Motor Company.
They shared it. So Byrne and University shared this as their body shop.
And I've got pictures of all the stuff. I need to get those to y'all.
I've been asking you for those pictures for months,
I've sent you some pictures.
No,
you gave me your wrong number. That's like my offer. They give me one digit shy. They just don't want me to call them. I don't understand.
Yeah, that's it. Or maybe you punched it in one digit wrong.
One digit. That's probably the truth.
Right. Give them that letdown number. You ever seen that? Oh man, we got to post. I got to find it.
The letdown number.
Somebody, as a joke, a long time ago, created this phone number that you could. If somebody asked for your number, you didn't want to give it to them. You gave them the phone number, and when it called, and it was this message from this woman. It was like, "Hey, somebody doesn't want to talk to you. Here's this, a solemn message in a nice tone to let you down easy."
That is hilarious.
Oh my God,
867-530-9.
That's Benjamin Franklin Plumbing.
Is that
that's
really?
Right. Yeah, that's right. I remember seeing that
here in town.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that was their big draw, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I remember that.
That was Tommy Two-Tone who
it was
that wrote that, I guess, or sang it.
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk about Murfreesboro.
Please.
What a great place. I'm a lot older than you guys, Ewans. I just turned 56, and I can remember.
Happy birthday.
Well, thank you.
Man.
March 2nd.
We're going to have to dust the table over
happy
here.
Birthday. All right.
I'm a Pisces. I can remember in the 70s, before y'all were even born, Murfreesboro had like 30,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
I can remember when there was no interstate.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
it didn't go into existence till like the early 70s.
Really?
So I was born in '66, and what people would do back then for entertainment, you would drive to Nashville to go out to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, maybe that's a lot like it is today, but I mean the restaurants
you would drive
around
up
here.
Murfreesboro Road, right?
Yeah, you got Murfreesboro Road.
So on the way, you'd pass the Omni Hut.
Exactly. The Omni Hub
there you go.
that's a good point right there. And if you wanted to travel to Florida, you had to go out Manchester Highway through Chattanooga or 231 down Church Street through Shelbyville, through Fayetteville, through Huntsville, through Birmingham, all the way down to the Gulf. And that's how you travel. And now you get on 24, 840 to 65, depending on where you're going.
No, I've done we actually have friends in Huntsville, good friends in Huntsville. And we frequently take 231 into Huntsville instead of taking the interstate.
I love Huntsville. The G-Force machine.
The G-Force machine.
Have you ever ridden that?
At the Space Center?
Oh, yeah, man.
Oh, I've never done that.
Also known as the lunch bucket.
I was going to say, make you throw up.
In that bucket.
I've been on it when that happened, man. I wasn't the one. I was the recipient.
Oh, no.
I was like, I didn't have pizza this morning.
What the hell was that?
What was that? Pepperoni. I don't even eat pepperoni.
Speaking of that, you're what, the fifth generation?
I'm a fourth or fifth generation. If you're counting my son, which that goes down, really, I've got relatives in Evergreen, born in the 1850s. I'm not like a Brick Murphy whose family y'all need to have him on here.
Names on the sign,
right.
kind of
Murfreesboro. His family, it's named after. There's people here like Will Jordan out in Las Casas. His family goes way back here. But yes, I am longer than some people and not as long as others.
Yeah.
But it's funny how Murfreesboro's grown. The people, if you're on social media, they start complaining about traffic, yada yada, crime, everything. What the ones that are complaining are the ones that have moved here the last 5 or 10 years. Like, traffic's awful. I mean, you think you contributed to it,
Yeah, right.
But I'm a realtor too. Y'all are realtors too. So, and I started real estate, helping John Jones start his team back in 2000. Interest rates were hovering between 8 and 9%.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And man, it was a whole different time. You had these magazines. Y'all are buyers. You would bring me a magazine. You'd have to flip through it.
Yeah.
We always picked it up outside of. I grew up in Smyrna, so when we would go to Cozumel Restaurant, they had it right outside
Buy
the door.
home.
Yep. And
home buyer's guide.
We'd go sit and eat Mexican food and look at all the houses that we couldn't afford. So
there's a thing called an MLS number, which there is today, but there's so many websites and stuff. It's an information-driven society. Everybody's information quick. Because we didn't have Facebook when I was a kid. We had a pen pal.
Pen pal.
I would write a letter. And it was usually a chick. I'm like 8 or 9 and writing a letter to a friend in Montana, and then I'd run to the mailbox 30 days later.
30 days
I got a letter from my pen pal. Thank you,
and it
Jesus.
Smells good.
And
and I got a photo.
Yeah.
And I was in love.
Yeah. There you go.
I had a pen pal in Paragould, Arkansas. I met her at Opryland.
Really?
Opryland Hotel.
No. Opryland. We were in line for the Wabash Cannonball.
Wow.
And we rode the roller coaster together.
The roller coaster, yeah.
Yep.
Did you hold hands?
Yeah, of course.
Remember that movie, Meatballs?
I move fast.
You make out, master. You held her hands in the woods.
In the woods.
Yeah, in the woods. You make out, master. That was making out when,
Yep. Well, and you knew it was serious if you were holding hands and you went like this.
And you did that or this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what does that mean?
I have no idea. I have no idea. You're 12.
Or when
so
a guy
who knows,
does
right?
it, you're like, dude.
I'm just going to sit over here and be quiet.
Back off, Betty. Back off, Betty.
Back off, Betty.
Back off,
like,
Betty.
Whoa, this is moving too fast. You are too aggressive. Calm down.
There will be no finger movement. On
No
my
finger
hand.
movement on the palm of my hand at least.
Oh, my God.
That means something. That's what Granny told Granddaddy.
Thank God for editing.
Yeah, for real. We got
Fix it in post.
I'm just kidding. Fix and post. Do you get that a lot? That drives us nuts.
What's that?
When people are, you can fix and post. Be like, you don't know what
No.
I have no idea what you're
Do
talking
y'all
about.
have like a block list on your pages?
Yes.
Dude,
Yes.
I've got like a Facebook page for the block list.
That's funny.
I think I've got about 200 to 300.
There are some people that I don't get why they just like it's like they just
it's all political, man.
Yeah, they wake up and be like, let's see what type of crap I can stir up today. And you're like, what the?
Let's go F with this person.
I think it's just if they're miserable, you know, that whole misery loves company.
Yeah,
amen.
And so, you know, who can I project my misery?
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm 100% for people expressing their opinions.
Yeah.
Have at it. You know, we don't all agree on everything. I get that.
Right.
But when you're just constantly, and the people that we've blocked are like people that have religiously just come in
Just
and
hammered
hammered everything. I'm like, all right, enough's enough. So, you know, but yeah, I know you probably get the same thing.
Oh, yeah, I get them all the time. It usually starts with the politics. You could do a post, and everybody's so emotional right now.
Yep.
But let me tell you, there's 3 things in life, and when I speak, this is what I tell people. There's 3 things that affect people: finances, romances, or relationships, and health. We've already talked about it. Finances is, do I have a job? Do I have a bank account? And I mean, there's been times in my life where I didn't have a job or a bank account. I didn't have a car, didn't have a driver's license. I mean, I was unemployable. You know, a lot of people don't know this. I'm in recovery. It's been 30 years since I've had a drink.
Good job.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah, but I've been married 4 times. But I have a beautiful partner, Meredith Thomas, who's kept me straight for the last 9 years or so.
Nice.
I have to give her a shout out. But and I love her. Getting emotional.
No, that's all right.
I got a hanky, man.
But finances, romances, and health. So think about it in your own life. Romances could be, how's your relationship with for me, my girlfriend, or you, your wife, or your significant other. How's your relationship going with children of yours? If you have children, your parents. How's your relationship with a coworker? How's your relationship with the guy that just pulled out in front of you at Walmart and you're wanting to go choke him out?
And that'll wreck your
at the gym.
day. Yeah, it'll wreck your day.
Who gets the bench before you? You want to choke him?
Yeah.
And then the third thing is health.
Yeah.
Because we're living in a time now with this COVID thing. I've known 8 people personally, in the last 8 months that have passed from COVID. And this is supposed to be spread the positive. I understand that, but that's the truth. That is the truth. But all of us, I've got friends who are Harvard grads. I've got friends who are truck drivers. People who are homeless. So if we got a phone call this afternoon at 3:00 that your child has leukemia, or your child has been run, or whatever, something bad's happened, you don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican or what school you went to or how much money you've got in the bank.
Yeah.
My point being is we're all human, and we can all agree to disagree agreeably. And there's so much negative, and I'm so glad y'all have this spread the positive, because we need that. We need this more. We need more of spread the positive.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to bring y'all down and then bring you back up.
No.
It's good stuff.
Makes you think, though.
You know, and I think if people can if people will keep sight of what you just said, you know, and just my kids my son specifically makes fun of me all the time, because I'll take my daughter to school, and the drop off and pickup line are, I think, one of Dante's circles of hell. I mean, they're awful, right? They're awful.
Is that Dante's Inferno?
That's
Is that
it, exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
There you go.
And you know, people don't know how to read a stop sign, which is amazing because they're everywhere.
They might be colorblind.
Maybe. I don't know. But they're also a specific shape.
Like
I mean, like, you know, it's the only one that's shaped like that. But anyway, they don't know how to read
Square
a stop sign.
or octagon. No, it's square.
Yeah, right, exactly. You must be in the drop-off line. And, you know, and you get what, 10 people in the line, and all the kids get out of this car, notice I skipped a car,
right.
Get out of this car, 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 and I'm right here, and we pull up, and then this little princess has to get out up at the front, and then this little princess has to get out at the front. None of them can walk. I'm like, oh my word.
There's no princess. They're all princesses.
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Are you?
No,
You're
I'm
discriminating.
I'm using that as a gender neutral term.
Okay.
Princess.
Yeah.
Princess. I'll tell you what's sad is and this happened to me, it was several years ago. I got pulled over in the school zone in front of my son's.
Oh gosh.
Going 25 and the guy that pulled me was a friend of mine. So
he didn't have a sticker, did you?
He didn't have a sticker, but it's bad when you have blue lights looking at, and all the moms or parents are driving by. Look, you've got Bill W on your tag. You got Mr. Murfreesboro.
Yeah.
It's not very positive.
I think John posted that on Murfreesboro.com.
I didn't.
He did?
No
That was
such
you?
thing.
Yes. Well, you son of a gun.
I got pulled over in the monster truck one time. Yeah,
where is that truck?
It's in my driveway at the moment. The air conditioning went out, and so
who needs air conditioning?
I know, yeah. Well, right now it's okay, but God, in the summer. Well,
the problem is that the air's thinner up there. Where
right?
Yeah,
yeah, man.
I'm bleed section.
Yeah, I'm eye to eye with semi trucks. You know, I mean, it's up there, but
Do you take it four-wheeling ever? Have you ever taken it? You getting a stupor?
We had fun once with it, but the gas mileage is so bad on that thing, so we disconnected the four-wheel drive, so I wouldn't be. I get like 6 miles a gallon in that
That's
thing,
a great thing, the marketing and stuff, because I've seen you in the parade.
Yep.
And do you like doing the parade?
I love doing the parade. I have
like
so much fun
throwing
doing
the
that.
candy out and watching the kids fight.
Oh, I know, right? Like,
That's
mine.
me. That was me 10 years ago, fighting over candy.
The parade is a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun, and it's good for the community.
Oh yeah, it's a ton of fun. Plus, we have an actual horn from a Model T on that thing. So good.
Beep, beep.
No, this one goes booga.
Booga.
But we did put a PA system on it now.
Oh,
so
that's awesome. I had a PA system on my Ford truck.
You? Nice.
So I could call my workers over, like developments and stuff. I could call them, it's snow and rain. Come get your check.
I'm not getting out of the truck.
I'm not getting out.
Yep.
Or pull up and say, hey, Mr. Police Officer.
No, I so badly, in the parade, I wanted to hold it up to the radio and blare Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You.
That would sound so bad, though,
I know,
through
I was
the
like,
PA.
man.
It would be the worst.
But I just thought it'd be funny. I was like, no, forget it. Don't do that.
But that is a fun event.
Oh,
And it happens
sure.
once a year, and it builds up to it.
The parade's super fun.
Yeah.
We do the opposite. Instead of being in the parade, I have clients come to my house,
Right.
and we sit and watch it in my front yard.
Do you
Since
really?
it goes right in front of the house. And
You live on Main
that's a lot of
Street?
fun. Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I do.
I've lived on Main Street twice in my life. Where Central Christian Church is at the corner of Manning, Main, there's a carriage house right next to that tennis court. That house just sold. Glenn Strode had it listed, and it sold finally.
There's a police officer that lived in that place for a while.
Yeah, well, a general from the Civil War
Oh, dang.
built that house like 1866 or so.
Wow.
And that carriage house was for his horses and his carriage. Of course, that's where I live. When I rented that, and then I lived in a townhome over by Junior's. There's some townhomes.
Behind that other house. Yeah.
I lived in the furthest one on the left, and it was so convenient. When I would come
cool
home
how
from
they're tucked
Junior's,
in
I
there.
would take my
Take
cart,
the cart. Yeah.
and just when I went shopping, I'd just take the cart, go back into Junior's.
So you stole carts.
I still. I hope
know
the
where all the
statute of
carts went.
limitations. Yeah, I need to shut up.
yeah. I
You hear
live,
that, Juniors? You hear?
I'm
I
such
live in
an honest
the-
person.
I live in the Lively House down across from Central.
Okay, is that the White House? Is that
No,
the-
it's the brick one that sits back off the road a little ways next to Miss Murphy's house.
okay?
Well, what was Miss Murphy's house?
Okay, it's not next door to the Collins, is it?
Mm-hmm.
That originally that was Ann Farrell's house, and then a dentist
Mm-hmm.
Nicholson, and then y'all had.
Correct.
Yeah, cool. And there's a little carriage house.
There is.
Yeah, I've been there at some college parties in your house.
Oh, God.
And 2 doors down is the OKA house over off of Hancock. In fact, I've lived in several houses on Main Street, but yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah, it's fun. It's neat to live downtown. It's super fun.
Convenient too.
Speaking of Main Street, you have some of the best photos I've seen that you. By the way, for all watching and listening, go follow Mr. Murfreesboro on Facebook and Instagram. He posts some amazing photos that you. I mean, because
I don't know how accurate they are. I mean, I'm getting.
yeah. Well, the one I've seen you post some of like Main Street from back in the
Like
day.
1880s, yeah.
And it's like, wow, holy crap.
The Jim Smythe home. I've got a picture. It's not my picture. Somebody else did it, and I probably have 30,000 photos. And where do I get them? Different places. If I'm traveling and I see something to do with Murfreesboro, I'll do a quick snap of it.
Oh, cool.
Other sites, and I'm the world's worst about giving credit, so I'll just go ahead and say that. But I try to. If I don't, I sit on the board for the Rutherford County Historical Society, and I want to give them a plug because We have a new museum in the courthouse dealing with Rutherford County. If you get a chance, go check it out.
It's awesome.
Yep.
But to join the Rutherford County Historical Society, it's $25 a year.
And you get to
spend that a night on beer,
right?
John.
No kidding.
You get to come to coffee and conversation every
on
Saturday
mornings from 9 to 12, and it's a blast. It's like a fraternity house. If you ever in a fraternity or been to a frat party or whatever,
full of old people,
and they talk history.
Yes,
you get to find out stuff about. Well, what happened in this house? What happened here? And they know it.
Yeah.
So I kind of like a sponge when I'm around the older generation.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm getting older now, but I just love history, and I've got photos. Mr. Murfreesboro was derived. There was an original man by the name of Tommy Martin, who was the original Mr. Murfreesboro.
Gotcha.
And if some of y'all might know Hunter McFarland,
Yep.
a dear friend of mine, and Bryn Martin, who's a doctor of history over at MTSU, their grandfather was Tommy Martin. Tommy was a robust man. He was about 5'9", 5'10", 300 and something pounds. I mean, he was a big guy. Always had a suit on. And if you ever met him, you would always remember. He would always go, Jesus loves you, and Tommy Martin loves you as well, or something to that effect. It was always, Jesus loves you, and yada, yada. He'd always call you on your birthday or send you a card.
Oh, wow.
Or if you were in the newspaper, he'd cut it out and laminate it. Old school, man.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. We've lost that because it's easy to just push a button. Look, hey, look how many likes I got. How many,
yeah, right.
You know what I mean? So, but Mr. Martin, Murfreesboro would not be the way it is today without Tommy Martin.
Yes.
Because as a businessman in the 40s and 50s, he worked for the Mutual of New York insurance company. Sold insurance, life insurance, stuff like that. But he helped recruit companies like State Farm, Chromalox, GE, and others. So at one time, and I worked at all three of those places, by the way.
There you go.
At one time, GE was the biggest employer. And now it's an open field, and there's the Battlefield, I think, is wanting to buy it, or there's a Civil War Trust wanting to buy it. I don't know who owns it now, but you could ask Jim Lewis about that. But anyway, he helped recruit people, businesses, to Murfreesboro. The growth, we haven't seen growth like this in the last 10 or 15 years, but it actually started way back then. A slower growth, but it made it attractive for other companies, like Nissan, which is not Murfreesboro, but it's Rutherford County. You know, have you ever wondered what Rutherford County would look like without Nissan?
Oh, yeah.
Sure. It wouldn't look like it does now.
How many people do they employ? Or Old South, or John Floyd, Old South Homes, that's another
And think
one.
about this. It's not just the Nissan plant, which employs a lot of people, but think about all the businesses that are here because of Nissan.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? The different parts makers, the different logistics companies. The
spinoff
exactly.
businesses.
I mean,
even
thousands.
that, look at right across from the Nissan plant, the businesses that spurred up from, you want to
Nissan
stretch
Boulevard
it,
would literally not exist.
Yeah, like
Dunkin'
Donuts. I was just thinking,
Sonic.
hey, they got to have breakfast.
Hey,
food, and
I have my fried mozzarella sticks. Come on.
Hey,
I love those mozzarella sticks. Sonic's got some good cheese.
We went from history to fried mozzarella
I know,
sticks.
right? Hey, Dunkin' Donuts.
Hey, maybe we should ask Sonic for a sponsorship,
right?
And just keep fried mozzarella sticks in here all the time.
Just a big thing of marinara.
Yeah,
right. Sonic, right there. I'm down. That'd be good. Cheese sticks, yummy. But well, awesome. Yeah, I imagine you've got 1.5 million other stories about Murfreesboro. You got any good ones that pop in mind?
Well, I've got some of mine, but I can't really talk about it here. But I do have some cool stories about when Granddaddy was sheriff back in the 50s and 60s. I grew up in politics.
That's right. Your whole family, right? For many years. My
grandfather Wilson, Bill Wilson, was the sheriff for about 10 years in the 50s and 60s. And then he was a road superintendent after that in the late 60s, early 70s. And Daddy was a county commissioner and the chairman of the county commission, which is now the county mayor, back in the late 70s, early 80s. So I grew up, my younger brother, David Wilson, who's a State Farm agent. I'm giving you a plug, David. Hey, I need some. Out Church Street. Dad was a State Farm agent here, too, for years. He and Mel Adams were partners. But anyway, Granddaddy
Mel
was sheriff.
My first insurance agent.
Who was?
Yeah.
Mel?
Mel.
Yeah, I call him White Earp. He's got that big mustache.
I used to see him in the coffee shop all the time. He's always real nice.
Yeah, he's a great guy. But back in those days, back in the 50s, could you see Murfreesboro as Mayberry RFD? I mean, it was like Andy Griffith.
Yeah.
The big thing back then was a cat got stuck in the tree.
Oh, really?
Or a couple got drunk and they beat each other up. Domestic. Okay.
Right.
The deputy had to go out there and calm them down. Granddad was known for it. He never carried a gun. He carried a little badge, but you didn't know who he was. Well, I can give you a couple stories, but one time he had gone to Laverne, and this is before Maverick or Magnum P or anything. He had dressed up like a hobo. I got pictures, and it was in the Tennessee. It's in the archives, I think, in the museum in Tennessee. He dressed up, the Rutherford County Sheriff had dressed up like a hobo to go to Laverne. He heard there was a still down there close to the railroad tracks in the woods somewhere, and he was going there to buy and to catch them. Well, he goes up there, goes down the railroad tracks, goes into the woods, going to buy some moonshine, some illegal whiskey. And these deputies pop out, and they arrest him. Uh-oh. They arrest the sheriff and take him back to the jail. And they go, they get back down there, and he's got his hat on. And they're like, they go to the booking room or whatever, and they're like, you dumb person.
Yeah.
You just arrested the sheriff. The deputies had arrested.
Did you look at this guy closely?
Yeah.
See who he is?
But I've got photos on there of him being his mug shot.
Yeah.
But he got arrested. And there was one other time in Rutherford County. Y'all know where Halls Hill Pike is?
Yep.
Okay. Back in the 50s, Cannon County had a sheriff by the name of Sheriff Simpson.
Okay.
Simpson, like Jessica Simpson. Or Bart Simpson. There's been people out at Halls Hill Pike near the Porterfield community, and they had their goats and sheep being slaughtered. Uh-oh. And somebody said they saw a Bigfoot.
Oh, gosh.
So my grandmother got tired of people calling. You would call the sheriff at home back in the day.
Okay.
It wasn't like you'd have your number at home. And back in those days, you had a party line you could listen in. But anyway, they would call my grandparents' house, and Granny Wilson, who slept with a gun under her pillow, she said, "I am tired of this, Bill Wilson. You've got to do something about this. It's waking me up. You know, a Bigfoot, really? Somebody's probably drunk and they're hallucinating. Or you know what it's like to be drunk and hallucinate, right?
Maybe they just haven't shaved in a while.
Maybe, I don't know.
No, that's you. No,
right. I shaved today. Thank you.
Yeah, that's right.
So he got tired of this, and this is a brilliant political move. He called Sheriff Simpson and said, and it was on the radio, like WGNS. There's been a sighting. Can you hear that? Yeah. Like War of the Worlds. There was a thing that freaked people out. Yeah. Like, you couldn't see the TV. All you had, the media was listening,
and people actually trusted the media
and imagination.
Right, yeah.
You're like.
Yeah, and people trusted him.
Yeah, they trusted him. Mm-hmm. So they're on the radio. There's a Bigfoot on loose, Halls Hill Pike, yada, yada. And Granddaddy called Sheriff Simpson. Hey, by the way, Robert, Sheriff Simpson, the Bigfoot has moved into Cannon County.
Okay.
And they said Sheriff Simpson cussed Bill Wilson to the day he died because he was the one that was getting the phone calls. He was the one. But was there a Bigfoot? It was in the Tennessee, and I do have proof that was
that's
that
funny.
Happened. But that was
Bigfoot.
I want to hear a story about. There's something that's been fascinating me ever since I learned about it. I want to hear about Black Cat Cave.
Black Cat Cave, and I've been in that cave. It's across from the VA. Mm-hmm. If you go past the VA and you're going towards Lebanon, look to your left. There's a hunk of trees there, right across like where the golf course or the VA is. And now there's boulders over there. Mm-hmm. And I think the city runs there with the recreation. Yeah, there's a steel door or something, but they put boulders in so you can't get down there. When I was a kid, Granddaddy took Dave and I down there just to show us around and some other folks. At one time, there was a speakeasy like in the 20s.
Really?
There was a bar down there. You could go down there.
Whoa.
Get liquored up. Girls, whatever you do with getting liquored up, whatever. Yeah. It was a bar.
Huh.
In the cave.
I never knew that. Okay.
Yeah.
And it was during like Prohibition, stuff like that. But Granddaddy had some dealings down there. But what they did find out, and MTSU, they got a hold of it, and they found some Indian artifact, Native American artifacts, some drawings.
I did see that, yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah,
just think about that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you have any pictures from the speakeasy?
I've got some pictures of inside looking out. And I've got some outside looking, but I'll have to do some research. I know I do have one of looking out through the hole there that's got bars on it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
But I'll share those with you, whatever I've got.
Cool.
But yeah, think about that. I can remember the first bar in town was the one I remember is Daddy Rabbit's, where
where's that?
It was on Memorial across from the old Charlie's, where today it's a tobacco place. There's Smith, where it used to be Jones Car Wash, and now it's Smith Brothers.
Yep.
That green building's like a little laundromat.
Yeah, yeah.
On the other corner's a tobacco place.
Yep,
that was Daddy Rabbit. Now I do have pictures of Daddy Rabbits.
Oh,
and then
that's cool.
Chesney's was the first.
I love Chesney's.
Yeah.
And then
Potato
Chesney's
skins,
became
Long Island teas.
It became that the burger place. Remember Fuddruckers or whatever?
It also became a bar called Drink until somebody got murdered out in the parking lot.
Mm-hmm. Then they tore the building down.
Oh, damn.
Yep.
Sure did. Now there's a gas station there.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And people like to ask me about Tiger Hill behind Walmart on 231, how it got its name. People from Central High School back in the 40s and 50s, their nickname, the Central High School Tigers. Mm-hmm. They would go out there, party, That's when they were doing their reveling or whatever. Mm-hmm. And that's how it got its name, Tiger Hill. I used to always think there was a tiger on the loose out there. Right, when I was a kid. Why is this Tiger Hill?
The tiger chased the Bigfoot into Cannon County and then came over.
That's right.
That's it. Yeah. But what about this, y'all? Have you ever thought that Murfreesboro would be the way it is today?
No. And, I grew up here in Smyrna, but we came to Murfreesboro all the time or went to Antioch, right?
Right.
So from Smyrna.
Hickory Hollow.
Equal distance there. And I grew up in the 80s and 90s, and it was, even then, it was not like
Pass through town.
Yeah, I mean, you have 100,000 people in the county at that point.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? We had 20,000 in Smyrna. Yeah. And 80 or whatever here, and so I guess maybe 120 because Laverne was like 15, and I mean it was crazy. Yeah. And now you look around, we've got 9 comprehensive high schools that have over right at 2,000 students,
and more coming.
There's 76 people that move to this area every day.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Because of Nashville. Murfreesboro is such a great place. I call it a Norman Rockwell town. You've got every type of, it's the part of the Bible Belt, but it's got every type of religion. If you're Hindu, Buddhist, Muslim, or whatever, every religion's here. You've got great education, public, private schools, and you're within a day's drive. If you take a pen, this is my Chamber of Commerce plug. You take a pen and go to the center of Rutherford County or Tennessee. It's Murfreesboro. We're the center, middle Tennessee.
Yep.
And you draw a circle 500 miles around that. You're within a day's drive to 75% of the U.S. population.
Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm. And if you go north, south, east to west, you've just about got to come through Murfreesboro.
Yeah.
To get up north,
Yeah.
This used to be called like Little Chicago or Little Detroit because all your gangsters. Al Capone, who did his business in Chicago, a lot of his business, he would travel to Miami. And he would stop at Monteagle. There's a place called High Point. Y'all need to go there. If you don't, you need to go eat there. They got the best food. He built that house for his mistress.
No kidding.
Yeah, in the 1920s. And it's got trap doors and there's holes for his Tommy gun. But when you walk in there, there's a picture of Al Capone. And that was built for his one of his mistresses, let me say.
Gotcha.
But he would stop there on his way, and he also would stop here. They would stop out at 41, and there's legend has it that they would eat at the City Cafe. I don't know if that's true or not. I've talked to other people. Some people say it's true, some people it's not, but a lot of gangsters used to hang out here.
That's cool.
Between Miami and Chicago, or Detroit was another.
Yeah.
Well, and back to the small town feel, I tell people all the time, there's 340,000 people in the county or whatever, but make no mistake, this is absolutely a small town.
It is.
So if you're sitting around and you're talking bad about someone, you're going to
Word
get caught about
travels
it.
very quickly.
It's going to happen.
Especially on social media. Within minutes.
Well, forget the.
I didn't say
not even
that.
Social media. Just like if we're out at City Cafe, you better watch what you're saying.
Yeah.
There's people listening.
Yep. Oh yeah.
For sure. And watching. And watching.
Yeah.
Believe me.
Yep.
It's the
I know
truth.
you guys got me beat on the I've been here about a little over 20 years.
Where did you move here from?
Well, my dad had a big corporate job, so we moved around quite a bit.
Right.
I was born in Alaska.
Wow.
And then went to Oregon, New Mexico, New York, and then here. But I've been here over half my life. So
right.
But since 2001, we moved here. But I remember Thompson Lane stopped at Tangerine. You know, yeah. And medical center wasn't even a thought. I think
it was the last 10 years at medical. It was a farm. The avenue.
It didn't exist.
Right.
There was no interstate exchange there. There was nothing.
Well, I just remember when they finally did that and they proposed it, I was like, oh, thank God. Because I used to, where I used to live at the time, I had to drive all the way around town because we lived out towards Las Casas. And come all the way out through town because to go down Thompson, it would just stop.
Right. Boom.
Boom. And then you're like, well, literally where I need to go is right over on that other side. Well, then they connected it, and then they did the cut through, and I was like, oh, thank God, I can drive. But
that's wild, man.
I can, that's about the extent of mine. So,
well, the avenue. Murfreesboro had the 7th bloodiest battle of the Civil War right here. People don't realize that there was over close to 25,000 casualties. That means there's 25,000 dead. There was maybe 6,000, 7,000 dead on both sides combined. But most people died after the war. They didn't die during the battle. They died of dysentery, and one of the biggest killers was diarrhea in the camp. You get a case of and then next thing you know, they would eat tack. I mean, it was the stuff they ate. It was very an unclean time. Mm-hmm. But where the country club is today, back on the back, if you know where the driving range is, right behind there.
Sure do.
That was Wayne's Hill. Mm-hmm. There was cannons set up right there. You see those ridges? Mm-hmm. It's still a part. And then if you go out across the railroad tracks on Broad and take a right to McFadden's Ford, there was 50 cannon back in that area facing the country club.
Jeez.
Harker's Crossing is down there. If you ever get a chance to play golf down there, go by the side. I think it's hole number it's that long par 5 going down the river. Mm-hmm. There's a little sign there that says Harker's Crossing. Yeah. That's where they tried to cross over and just got hammered. Dang.
I
believe it's the Confederates. But Jim Lewis, you need to have him on there about the battle. But where we eat at Jonathan's, or if you're over here shopping at the Avenue, think about waking up one morning and having 80,000 troops.
Yeah.
Murfreesboro from December 31st of 1862 to January 2nd of 1863 was like the 10th or 11th most populous city in the Southeast for sure, if not in the country, because Nashville only had like 17,000, I think.
Well, and the story about how Murfreesboro was the state capital and then why it lost that is fascinating to me. About the river. Yeah.
Commerce can't get down.
That's right.
There's times in Stones River you can walk across it. I mean, it's there may not be any water.
But it's because ultimately it's because a spring dried up. Right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what they kind of traced it back to?
I think so, but think about this. The reason it moved to Nashville, it was something about $100 and the river situation. But think about the Cumberland River dumps into the Ohio, which dumps into the Mississippi. Mm-hmm. So big boats can get up and down. Think about Riverfront Park. That's where they used to come in, unload their commerce and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. You can't do that in Stones River. Maybe at Percy Priest somewhere, but
and maybe you could have
maybe a paddle boat.
Early 1800s. I don't know. Yeah.
That's a lot of paddling.
That's a lot of paddling.
But people don't realize the history here, and that Judy Garland's family, Dorothy on Wizard of Oz, the Gump community that was part of her family.
Yeah, nice. Dang.
There's no place like home.
No place like home. Yeah, that's one of the things I remember when we first moved here, and when my dad's job, when he moved him around when we were in New York, all we were told was Nashville. And so I was like, okay, country music capital of the world. All right, we'll give it a shot. And so we came down, and but it grew on me so fast.
It did.
Like this town just kind of sucks you in a good way.
Right.
Like, wow, I really like it here. And
it's very easy to plug in here.
It is.
Diversity, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And for those that really dive into the city and see there's a lot to offer here and to do and to learn, and the history here is incredible, and I'm learning stuff just sitting here listening to you that I didn't know before.
It's cool.
It's very aren't they still finding stuff out in the battlefield till this day?
There's don't metal detect, it's a felony. Don't tell me how I know. No, I'm just kidding.
Is it really?
Don't metal, but they used to back in the day. There would be people plowing the field and their belt buckles, bayonets and stuff. But I do metal detect. I usually get the spots, and I have my friends, the Dig Dogs and different ones around here. They have a YouTube channel. Nice. And I'll go Hoovers Gap, right up here. People don't realize at the corner of Rutherford County, go to Beach Grove, Rutherford, Coffee, Bedford. If you get off exit 97, take a left. Look to your left. There's a big cannon, and it's a Confederate cemetery. Okay, the first repeating rifle in the history of war, the history of man, was used at the Battle of Hoovers Gap, which is at the corner of Bedford, Coffee, and Rutherford County. You're going down. You go past exit 97. Look at those hills, those ridges. That's where they stick their cannon and then shoot off cannons at each other. And,
oh gosh!
But I've done some hunting out there, like found campsites and
really.
My buddy Bill Walker, his dad's Dr. Joe Tom Walker. At one time, he had 3,000 or 4,000 acres out there. But we would he'd be plowing the field. He plowed up a Confederate States belt buckle.
No kidding.
And I mean, Bill's got it now, but stuff that somebody didn't touch for the last 100. I mean,
no kidding.
It's kind of cool when I go just to find stuff that's been in the ground for 160 years. Where you're the first person to see it or to touch it. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of history here, and people need to take advantage of it. I wish we had a trolley system here on the weekends. Yeah. If you go to and this is not me saying we need to be like Franklin, but there's other cities that are smaller that have like a trolley system. People I think if we had a trolley that could go to Oakland's Mansion, Bradley School, down to Sam Davis Home and different spots of history, people could learn, and you could make some money off of it. Yeah, I got the tax dollars. But
yeah, I've done a couple of those tours when they offered them, like the ones like around the square and different things like that. And some of them are very interesting. And
ghost tours, have you done that?
Oh yes, I love the ghost tours.
I love it.
That was neat, actually. But
we talked about the tunnels the other day with Michael Lynn White, the tunnel from the coin building and all of that, from the basement that goes over to the courthouse.
Yes.
So that's pretty cool. I've been
it's an escape
almost
hatch.
in the tunnel.
It's an escape hatch.
There's supposedly a tunnel under Bellwood Mansion.
Really?
My grandfather and his brother, Uncle Bud, he was actually one of Walt Disney's personal attorneys and bought all the land down in Orlando, swamp land. But anyway, they played in a tunnel supposedly under Bellwood Mansion. That the tunnel went through the Murphy Springs Discovery Center, and supposedly there was a tunnel that went to the courthouse that Civil War soldiers used. And who's to say that maybe slaves, during runaway slaves or whatever, they used that too to freedom or whatever. But whether that's true, and I don't know, but I've always heard, I don't think my grandfather was a liar. Yeah. But you have a lot of people who are skeptics. They don't believe it.
I have been in the tunnel that is from the courthouse
off the square
to the courthouse. Yeah.
That's cool.
So it goes under the public square road or whatever it's called.
Yeah. Why wouldn't there be?
Well, what they use it for now is when it was the courthouse still, they ran data lines and stuff through it.
Fiber optics,
but it's walkable.
It was a tunnel for people running, and now it's fiber optics.
See, that's why I'm convinced it was an escape hatch.
It was an escape hatch.
Oh, I'm sure.
Back in the day, they would bring like old submarines. That people would come down to the square for entertainment, and they'd bring a submarine. That was
a submarine.
Yeah, I've got pictures of that. But people, the parents or the grandparents would come down. The old man would be over on the bench whittling. Well, Granny would go to Ruby's and buy her Sunday dress. And there was Jesse Messick, who started Uncle Dave Making Days. He had Rexall Drugs, Martin Rexall Drugs, and that was on the square. Bell Jewelers was on the square. But a lot of people don't realize in the 1880s, Murfreesboro had a bunch of saloons. We had several fires. You can still see, if you go down some of these basements, I think Michael Busey, if you know him, I think. But there's different ones down there you can go and see where there was a fire or whatever. And there used to be 4 hotels downtown Murfreesboro. You had the James K. Polk Hotel where SunTrust Bank is. Yep. My dad had his first State Farm office there next to Clyde White Realty in 1961 or 62. And then you had the Jordan Hotel across from City Cafe. I got pictures of all these. You had the Haynes Hotel where Miller and Lowry and Beach was. Across the street there where that new Pinnacle Bank, there used to be the Princess Theater right there. And then on down the street, there was a little hotel during the Civil War. It's called the Periscope.
Mm-hmm.
And it still stands today. People drive by it every day. It's a brick building. And I'll text y'all sometime the exact. It's either the corner of Spring and College or Spring and Lytle, but it's a old house. But it was called the Periscope. So you had 4 hotels. You know, they were going to bring a hotel. That was a big thing with the Methodist Church. By the way, that's where I went to kindergarten, was that Methodist Church. They tore down the office part where we went. I'm glad they left the church with the steeple. Right. But I was hoping that hotel was going to go there. But I know it's going to be commercial, residential. It'll be nice to see when they get done with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and they're building it. It's still possible that they can put a hotel in after the fact.
I
the
hope
way that they're building it.
A lot of people are against it, but I think it would be good.
That'd be fantastic.
I mean, they should. We don't have but just a couple hotels in Murfreesboro, so
we don't have any on this side.
Sense the sarcasm.
Murfreesboro Hotel's really not.
We're really under
Regal Inn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
That's Knights Inn. I'm just kidding.
Knights Inn. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
You know, some of there's all kinds of cool stories, man. We could share a bunch.
Oh, I know.
The shape, the Presbyterian Church there was built by a shipbuilder.
Yeah.
And so the top of it is actually like an upside down boat when you get up into the rafters.
The Silver Dome. Yeah.
When you get up there, the way it's built, it's like an upside down boat. Of course, you got the human fly story is always.
Oh, the human fly. Yeah.
My grandfather and his brother were there when that happened.
Yeah.
Oh, when he fell.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've got some posts. I've done some posts on that. I've heard several stories that he went around town with his hat trying to collect money. You know, like if I make it now, I get to keep the money or whatever. But he just slipped. It'd been raining a little bit. And
well, he
got
did it
to
once.
the top. Yeah, he went up top. But he was traveling around the country doing the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, he's a stunt man is what he was.
Yep.
But he got up there and just slipped. And he fell to his death. And supposedly, and somebody can correct me on this, they put him in a window because they didn't know who he was.
Right. Nobody claimed his body for like weeks.
They put him up in the window so people
didn't know that
could
part.
come and look in the window where Kirk Catron's office is. At the corner of Main and Maple. I don't know if Kurt's there now or not, but they propped him up in the window, and they finally found out who he was. But I heard he was buried at the Pauper Cemetery.
Okay.
Under the E.E. Pluck Miller Bridge on Church Street, right out here.
Ah.
But, you know, Woodford.
See, I didn't know that part.
Yeah, man.
See, I'm
Woodford
learning all
and
kinds
Moore.
of stuff here today.
And my great-grandfather, back in the day, you know why they're called funeral homes? Because they used to have your funeral at your home. They prop you up on the dining room table.
Oh, gosh.
And that's where they would have the wake or whatever. That's where they would. That's why it's called a funeral home.
And do you know of the? I always thought the story was cool. What's about the house that had all the dynamite in it?
The house with the dynamite.
You know what I'm talking about? They told us about it on one of the tours.
Well, there's one that had stuff. If it caught on fire or something, there was one. I think I don't know if it was maybe it was dynamite.
Or it's something explosive or something, or I can't remember.
That way, if it caught on fire, they'd know about it or something.
Something, yeah.
Is it the White House, the old guest house?
Yeah, I believe so, because they told us about it on one of the
That's
tours.
the Clardy House.
Okay.
And he was the owner or the manager for Junior's Foodland back in the day.
Okay, gotcha.
And he wore a hat, Mr. Clardy, Jay Deaton's grandfather. Supposedly, he would put the day's till up on his head with his hat, and he would walk home and he would walk back to Junior's. And I've heard the fact that sometimes they put firecrackers in walls.
Or that was it. Okay, maybe something.
I
can't remember.
Because if it caught on fire, I honestly, I've heard that, but I don't know the true story.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not
trying
going
to
to speculate because
I was trying to remember the whole story.
It's like
they
an
told
old
us,
school fire alarm.
Yeah, and it was like to alert people, and so. But I guess the whole house was lined in them or something, and it was like, oh, don't touch,
don't
or
touch.
something. Yeah, so
the whole house is going
the
up.
whole house, and it's like
to the moon, Alice.
Yeah, right. Because they told us about it on the tour. But I remember they kind of alluded to which house it was, but they didn't tell us directly on the tour. And I was like, well, I'm pretty sure that's the one you're talking about. But it was, because they were like, they didn't want people to know. But anyways.
Murfreesboro had a horse-drawn trolley in 1896.
That's true.
Yeah, I remember, I think you posted a picture one time.
The horses stayed where Regal Title is. I got to give Regal Title a shout-out, Tabitha King. But anyway, the horses would stay in the back of that. And I went on a tour with the ghost people here in town. And we were up there for like 2 hours. They put out their devices, the lights, the sound device.
Yeah.
They come to find out there's like a 13-year-old girl who's a spirit who lives in the back there who thinks that she's lost a toy and she's looking for a toy or a piece of jewelry or something. Yeah, you need to have them on and let them tell you that story.
I think they talked about something like that on the
It's
ghost
wild,
tours.
man.
Yeah.
So plug to the ghost tours when they come back. Everybody, you got to do the.
Yeah.
That's
do
really
the ghost.
cool.
Well, one of the more haunted places is actually on the other side of the square from there, where the it was called the Gavel and Maple Street Grill.
Yeah.
Like right in there, because that's where the gallows were, the public hanging gallows.
Wow.
I like the one they tell you what the face and the floor of the blood mark.
I don't know that one.
It was on the ghost tour. It was apparently a high-ranking general or something from back in the
from the Civil War.
Yeah, died in that particular spot, and I guess he bled out on the
and
floor.
And his face is there.
And so they say to this day you can pull up the rug in the house, and it's like the spot shows, and it's like, whoa, okay, but it looks. Crazy. I guess it looks like his face or something. But
that's crazy.
That's wild. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's cool.
The ghost. I'm telling you,
bad
ghost
for him,
cool.
but it's cool.
Yeah, right.
Well, and you know that Tacey Table, that building was the phone company. Forever ago.
Do you know that my great grandfather Harry P. Cranford was the first Bell South manager in like 1920? He was one of the first managers. He came down from Mayfield, Kentucky, and I got pictures. Of him with the ladies in their Victorian dresses like this, and they're at the switchboard. I think I've sent that to you. And he's sitting there with a soda.
Well, that building is super haunted too.
Yeah, that is the
certified
old Tasty Table. B. McNeil's.
B. McNeil's
phone. The Murfreesboro phone company. That's where you go pay your phone. Verizon. That was your Verizon.
That was your Verizon. Yeah. Well, I hate to do this, but we just pretty much running out of time here.
Man, I appreciate y'all having me.
No, I love that we ended up on the haunted stories. Those are fun. We could have a whole section just on that.
Good times.
Thank y'all so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you. We're glad you could come on. We've been wanting you on here for a while.
Look at that.
So
That's a picture right there, Mr. Murfreesboro and the Murfreesboro guy.
And to squash this, for those that know both of us that think there's, you see this, the handshake? There you go. They think some kind of feud between us. No, just to clarify.
By the way, he would squash me.
Oh no, we got Mr. Murfreesboro and then the Murfreesboro guy. That's it.
Hey, we're all about love and peace, y'all.
That's right. Spreading the love.
Spread the positive.
Spread the positive. There you go.
It.
Awesome. Well, cool. Well, thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate it as always. And as always, go put a smile on somebody's face today.
Oh,
there we go. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you on the next one.